Howdy everyone, it is Thursday evening, it's time for Weather for Weather Geeks. We've been doing sunrises and sunsets right this week. The presence of some high clouds over the last couple of days, making for some really colorful starts and ends to our days. Thanks to everyone who's been sharing pictures, especially on my Facebook page, of our very colorful sunrises and sunsets. It was a fantastic one this evening, and you can check out some of those great shots on my Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram as well. Make sure you're following the Storm Tracker 21 accounts on all of those social media platforms. Time-lapse video from today. Now, after a beautiful sunrise, we did have that veil of high clouds made for a kind of a milky sky at times, but it was a much nicer day today. Despite the breeze this afternoon, it was much warmer, and of course it was dry, and overall not too many complaints. It wasn't quite as windy as it was on Sunday. We told you today's wind would not be quite as bad as Sunday, which we experienced gusts of 65 miles per hour on Sunday. Today our top gust at the airport was 35 miles per hour at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Boy, what a change though. Locally, biggest number on the map, 23 degrees warmer here locally than this same time in the 6 o'clock hour on Wednesday. And tonight will be a balmy night. Kind of interesting, today the National Weather Service office in Cleveland and in Pittsburgh issued a fire weather or red flag warning for parts of their area. This is kind of a rare product for the Weather Service in our region to issue. It's issued when the fire danger is high. It's very, very dry. The relative humidity was in the teens at times today in central Ohio. Windy conditions and a relatively dry period lately. So it was not a day to flick cigarette butts outside or anything like that. And it had actually been since May 1st of 2018 since parts of our region were under a red flag or fire weather warning. Across the country this evening, the weather is pretty quiet. Aside from the dry and breezy weather, there's not a whole lot going on nationwide. Our sunset, again, a beautiful one this evening. It was at exactly 5 p.m. So starting tomorrow and taking us through Christmas Day, our sunsets will be before 5 p.m., bottoming out from the 5th through the 10th of December at 4:53. The sunset gets 1 minute later on December the 11th. Now, the sunrises continue to get later and later all the way through early January, but sunsets bottom out or at their earliest before the winter solstice from the 5th through the 10th. Daylight saving time returns in 2021 on March 14th, and our sunset that evening will be at 7:28. Now, it's not quite as crystal clear outside as it was last evening, but this evening, hopefully you can get a chance to check out the young, still fairly crescent moon paired up with Saturn and with Jupiter. Last evening, those planets were to the left of the moon. Tonight, they're to the right of the moon. This will be visible through mid-evening, assuming the clouds are thin enough over your location. Again, it's not quite as pristine of an evening to check this out as last evening, but still worth a look. It's certainly warmer outside this evening than it was last evening. I think our Friday is going to play out a lot like today did. Not quite as windy, but a veil of high clouds around at times. Maybe we'll have another nice sunrise and sunset again tomorrow. Our front comes through with very little fanfare tomorrow evening, and in the wake of that front, even though high pressure will be just off to our north, usually that would mean a pretty sunny day. I think there'll be an increase in high clouds again coming in from the west on Saturday. So kind of an overcast afternoon on Saturday. This is in advance of an area of low pressure which will be strengthening as it comes up through the Ohio River Valley. Rain will probably push in before daybreak on Sunday. And I do think that the temperature profile overhead would suggest that maybe there's some mixed precipitation for a time early Sunday morning. For the rest of Sunday, there's some model disagreement on timing of showers. I kind of the opinion that we're going to have some rain and maybe some wet snow early Sunday. Probably see a decent break mid to late morning through maybe a good chunk of the daylight hours. And then showers are likely to return, I think, as we go into Sunday evening and the overnight. All right, an update on our Thanksgiving holiday forecast a week from today. The good news is it won't be cold by Thanksgiving standards. 52 is above average by a good 8 degrees. The bad news is our forecast does include a chance for some showers on the Thanksgiving holiday. All right, today the Climate Prediction Center, part of NOAA, part of the National Weather Service, if you will, put out their first December outlook. This does not cover the whole winter, but just December. And their outlook favors warmer than average temperatures, no surprise, across a good chunk of the U.S., with the Pacific Northwest being an exception. So odds favor December being, much like just about every other month of late, warmer than average. That does not mean there won't be any cold weather in December. There probably, in fact, almost certainly will be the occasional cold shot, and occasionally it'll come with some snow, but it'll come out in the wash as warmer than average. That's where I would place my money, certainly, at this point. Also, wetter than average conditions are favored in the month of December. That doesn't mean tons of snow, but it does mean that all types of precipitation, when you melt down the snow and then combine that with the rain, it'll probably end up being a wetter than average month. Pretty classic La Nina stuff here. These maps look a lot like my winter forecast, in fact, which is being influenced greatly by a moderate to moderately strong La Nina, lots of other factors as well. But these maps are pretty classic La Nina stuff for December and for the entire winter, actually. So, again, I have no argument with their December outlook. I think their winter forecast is a little too conservative. My winter forecast is more aggressive with the warmth. In fact, I, again, think there's about a 1 in 4 chance that the winter season will end up as a top 5 warm winter across our region. But as far as the CPC December guidance goes, I really have no argument with either of their maps, temperature or precipitation. Thank you for watching Weather for Weather Geeks this evening. I'll be posting occasional weather updates, of course, this evening, and I'll have a full update if you're up late tonight on 21 News at 11 p.m. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your night.